guys, welcome to a new episode of Burnin. It's that time of year again, and we haven't been releasing much for videos, but it is show season, and we're sitting down with our buddy Rich Reinert for another talk about the Wisconsin Musky Expo coming up here in the middle of March. So obviously it's that fun time of year where we get to look at new baits, we get to talk musky, fishing with other people. And we wanted to give you a little preview of what's coming up at the Wisconsin Musky Expo, plus get the dates out there, the times, speakers, all that stuff. So some of the new things, some of the new baits that that's coming to the expo, and obviously new colors too we'll talk about. So with that, I guess maybe a little quick recap. You had a nice musky season, right?
Yeah, it was pretty good. I think what I've noticed is the size of the fish. We're definitely there, which is good.
Yeah.
Okay, but it's also scary. Okay, because when you see this many big fish show up, it makes you, and you don't see as many small fish, it makes you wonder, what's going on. And the first thing everybody does is they blame the DNR. The fact of it is the DNR is controlled by the politicians of the state, and there's quite a deficit, and so the stocking has been cut back quite a bit. So we're going to see some big fish, but musky fishermen need to get involved and let your representatives know that you want to see some stocking done, because they've cut back. I think this year is like 30-40% of what they stocked last year.
Looking to the future as far as the population.
Yeah, right, exactly, and that's what concerns me.
Sure.
But we did get some nice fish. I had a fish this year that it was a great inland water fish. It was 49 3/4.
Awesome.
With talking with Rick Lax, with the measurements and the girth, he felt the fish was. Now hear what I'm saying. 49 3/4 inches, and Rich, Rick Lax has handled a lot of fish. We know that.
Oh yeah.
He figured the fish was between 38 and 40 pounds.
Wow.
With the girth that it had. So, pictures don't do it justice, but I'm telling you, holding it and watching it come out of the net and how wide it was and just the girth of that thing.
Right.
It was tremendous.
That's an awesome fish.
So,
that's a definitely a memorable one there.
Yeah, it was caught, and of course we had a longer fall this year. It was caught like November 8th or 10th, somewhere right in there.
Sure.
And it was a beautiful day, for November.
Yeah.
And it was good, and I got it on a Tom Superglide.
Oh, nice.
And Tom Superglides have really moved a lot of big fish.
Yeah.
A lot of guys have caught a lot of big fish on them.
It's awesome.
So
can't beat getting an amazing trophy like that.
now we got her back in.
Yeah. Glad to hear you got some nice fish, and as far as our season, it was pretty slow. We didn't get out much, but there was a reason for that. But we did get out a couple times. We did get we got one video that we gotta for sure get out to you guys that we haven't yet, and some other ones from years past. So we've just been a little backlogged as far as the time available for fishing and the time available for editing, but it's justified. There's a good reason.
Don't let him kid you. Ross got a trophy of his own this year. He got a trophy.
That's for sure.
Where's that trophy? Wait till you see this. Listen, life happens, and everybody understands that. Here's the new generation of Burnin' Aids right here.
Yeah.
And he just came back in. Mom had him out for a drive. Hi, you look at all smiles. He's smiling for you. He's smiling for the camera.
This is Jace.
I know, Jace. But here's what I was gonna say, that he's just like his dad. If his dad starts talking, he'll chime right in. So I think he's got a future in the media business. Yeah, look at, he's got a big smile on his face right now.
Yeah.
You're a doll. He's just a cutie. This is what life's all about.
Got to get him chasing big fish with Sawyer. That's Jake's. Jake just had his second. So we had Jace, and then Jake had his second. Then Alex had a daughter. So we've been very, very booked up as far as time's concerned.
How'd you give him a trophy pose?
Yeah, right.
You gotta give him a trophy pose here.
We're definitely loving the family life. So
he's happy. He's such a happy little man.
He is.
You know what? Yeah, you can tell that you and Rachel definitely are. I mean, he's so happy. He's just,
Yep.
He's got good parents.
We'll get him and Sawyer out doing figure eights in the boat soon enough.
What?
So
yeah.
Definitely,
he is a cutie.
We're definitely all enjoying the family time right now. So it's great blessing. So we'll get on some musky fishing and get you back that mountain. So yeah, as far as some dates here, we're looking at for the Wisconsin Musky Expo.
2025 Wisconsin Musky Expo, March 14th through the 16th. The doors open at 2 o'clock. And of course we close at 8. Saturday will be 9 a.m. and close at 6 p.m. Sunday 9 a.m. till 2 p.m. We've got a good list of speakers. Michael Hansen, the Animal of the Northwoods guy, catches a lot of big fish. If you check the website, we've got the speakers listed. You'll see one of the several behemoths that Michael Hansen put in the boat. Again, there's been a lot of big fish showing up, especially with, we're not talking about Green Bay. We're not talking about Lake St. Clair. We're talking about inland water, Wisconsin. You get a 47 to 49 incher. That's a really good fish.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. And Michael Hansen definitely, guides to and puts a lot of big fish in the boat. Gus Manty and Clayton Speece will be there. And then Todd Forcier, who guides on the Pete and Well flowage.
So that's all Friday?
That's Friday. Saturday, people actually requested to see Fisher Smith. They love Fisher. There's another little animal, he's young, but the kids put a lot of muskies in the boat. He does a really great job. I'm going to speak at noon. Taylor Flannery, and then Jeff Van Remortel makes up Saturday. Sunday, Bob Partika, and then at 12 o'clock, this is a very rare thing to do, to see, but Brian Schaefer and Nate Osvar, two great musky fishermen, out there, have been around both a long time. But Brad Rue is going to join them for the owner of Musky Innovations. He's going to join them. They're going to have a panel discussion on how to fish rubber.
Awesome.
So
there's a lot of good stuff coming as far as seminars there, and yeah, that'll be interesting. It's always nice to gain some extra knowledge over the off season.
Well, and that's what the speakers are about,
right.
Russ. I don't want people just promoting and advertising. I want some good information passed on to the guys that come to the seminar.
Right.
That's what they're there for.
Yep.
So I'm very careful about the choices of speakers.
Yeah.
And these are all great people. That.
Looks like a great lineup to me.
You bet. So, again, March 14th through the 16th at the Central Wisconsin Convention Center. I want to take some time to thank all of you, because without you, there isn't a show. And don't think we don't know it. We put a lot of effort into this. There's a lot of detail, but we enjoy doing it more than anything, and hopefully all of you enjoy it as well.
Well, as far as being a vendor at this show for the last few years, I mean, obviously we went to Musky Expos before this, and then we talked to Rich, and we got a booth, I don't know, back in 2020 I think is when it was. And the nice thing about the Wisconsin Musky Expo is it's so centrally located. It's easy to get to from wherever you're coming from in the state, or even Minnesota, out of state, and the atmosphere is so nice. I mean, we enjoy talking to all you guys there. I mean, that's the one thing the first year we were there, we were like, this was so cool to experience, firsthand, our fans, our viewers, people that are watching, people that just want to talk, musky fishing stories. So, and the way, your atmosphere it's so family friendly too. I mean, you can have.
We try to keep it that way.
From 0 to 100 there, as far as age wise, and everybody enjoys it. So.
Yeah, that's what we try to do. Here's a key thing I want to point out to people. I see some guys that want to shop. They come in, they'll shop, and out the door they go. In the same token, people will talk and say, well, I don't know how to work this, or, I didn't see this at the show. Take some time. That's what the show's there for. Walk the aisles. All these vendors are very friendly. Take some time, talk with them. Yep. They're very approachable. They want you to know how their baits work. Take the moment. It's there. Enjoy it.
Right.
So
I agree.
A lot of education on that floor.
No doubt.
So
with that, jump into some of the stuff that's going to be there.
I might say real quickly, Brian Scaife and I told you this, Brian Scaife and I from Angling Anarchy, did a video this past week. I think it's going to be released, by the time you see this, it'll have been released already.
Sure.
But we got really ingrained in going over all the baits, so I'm going to touch on some highlights some people were asking about. So that's kind of what we laid out here.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to go over the highlights of some of the baits. I'd love to talk about all the baits, but everybody, we get messages, so we know what people are kind of looking for, and so this is basically what you see right here.
Right, and this is some of the new stuff or new colors and
Sure,
just different things that you don't normally always see too.
We're talking about new colors, okay? One of the things that Burnin Ace has done is, of course, they've had videos, but Ross and Jake, they've got certain baits that are favorites of theirs.
Right.
And one of the baits that they've, this amazes me because the crane bait has been around for as long as I can remember, 40 years. I mean, let's see, what am I? Yep, it's been around 40 plus years. And here you got two younger guys throwing crane baits, an old school bait, and what do they produce? They catch a lot of big fish.
We found out they worked right off the bat, and we never turned back as far as that's concerned. So
now I'm going to tell you real quick. You're going to notice there's a difference in the crane baits that I've got. I alter mine. I alter the hooks.
So
I run two hooks. We've always talked about that.
Yeah.
That's another thing that really surprised me is they did the same thing. And I think anybody's thrown a lot of crane baits, and I have thrown plenty, and still do. But they've got a couple of custom colors.
Yeah.
Interesting thing is they got the crane baits, but they also, it kind of worked out where, Mike Conklin from Conklin Lures is also, he's somewhat of a neighbor of yours.
Yeah.
More so of your sister's.
We fished with him back in the Musky battle years ago and got to know him then, and obviously he's got the glitch in the pedigree.
Right.
As far as the glide baits he's making.
And I'm going to tell you, Mike is going to have, Mike has got a booth there this year. Because it's a small batch, small bait. This man makes the pedigrees, by hand. He cuts them out, he shapes them, sands them, weights them, assemble. He does everything by himself. That's getting to be rare these days with some musky baits. He doesn't have a big, huge assembly line, but he made a couple colors. The crane bait in...
That one's Burnt Perch from Burnin Ace, yeah.
Yeah, and then we got...
And that one's Flowage Flame.
Flowage Flame. I just know that they're great colors, especially if you fish dark water, and, I like them both.
Yeah, so it was awesome to have Crane do those custom colors for us.
Yes.
And then now we've had Mike Conklin with Conklin Lures do the same for us in his pedigree. So we're excited. They turned out awesome. Both,
He did. He made these two colors for Burnin Ace, and those he will have his own booth, but he's got some color, custom, glitches that will be. It's a small number, and then of course I think Taps and Tackle will have a custom color as well.
Sure.
Okay.
So, just to confirm too, we will have a booth again this year.
Yep.
At the
they
Expo,
got a booth
so,
there. They're definitely going to have a booth there. So
we'll have the cranes and some other stuff, and obviously
Suix,
our apparel there. So yeah, we'll keep that in mind. But yeah, we just definitely love the way the colors turned out from Crane and Conklin. So we're excited to get them out there to you guys, and hopefully they obviously put fish in the boat. So
sure. Well, real quickly, I'll just run through some of these baits quick. A lot of people, we've noticed have asked, before I get into baits, I will tell you this, a lot of people always ask what vendors are going to be, what, stores are going to be there.
Mm-hmm.
Team Rhino Outdoors, he's been there, for forever, but Jeff within itself has got a great booth and brings a lot of stuff. Ross's Sporting Goods has been there since day one. John does an excellent job. He's a great musky guide, fisherman.
Right.
And so he'll be there as usual. And then we got Taps and Tackle. And they've got beer samples. This is Wisconsin. You gotta have some samples of beer.
Right.
So anyways, they'll definitely be there. So I want to throw that in there. There's a lot. There's no way I could possibly mention every vendor that's going to be there. But again, people have been asking about, the Indian Creek bucktails. Judd Dvorak does a great job of blending marabou. He's come into his own, keeps very busy, does not have these in stores. You can buy direct, but he's always at the show every year. This is the new gizzard shad that he tied for me, for the river system, which we have a lot of here.
Yeah. Nice looking color.
Yep. Other bait
it's a unique blade, it looks like, too.
It is. He's got a different blade.
Yeah.
He's got a different blade to that, exactly.
Yeah.
And so he'll have them there. The other bucktail that kind of stands out, it's a bucktail that I've made, but Big Guy Baits has acquired the company. This is a slim bush, tremendous amount of vibration, and I think you can vouch for that.
Oh, yeah.
But this is the smaller version.
Right. We have the regular Rich's Ambush on our website.
You have the regular Rich's Ambush.
Line.
You've caught many fish on that.
Oh, yeah.
Some nice fish on it.
Very nice.
And a lot of it has to do, I think, the sound and vibration. But these fish have been pressured, and this is a smaller version for people that want something smaller.
Something unique, yeah.
Yeah. So the other, there's 2 bucktails, 3 bucktails I want to point out very quickly. One is the Huntsy tail. I know everybody's been talking about. That's been the rage. It's caught a lot of big fish. This is called the Banger. This is a color that he's made for me. I love this pattern. I think he's going to make this. You know, I asked him to make this color for me, and I think he's bringing this color to the show.
Looks really nice.
Yeah, but it's produced, but the thing bangs, knocks, you know, makes all kind of sound. Mm-hmm. Here's one that's interesting that has come out and has been made for quite a while, but this is called the Rattle Can. And the guy never really produced, you know, he didn't really want to produce them to where they were, you know, out there to be available. But the thing actually, and you're looking at, this is a pike, this is an older one, this is a pike, northern pike. It's caught a tremendous amount of fish, you know, moved a lot of fish. But the sound, you can hear that thing from quite a distance coming back to the boat.
Sure.
But it's called the Rattle Can, and they're going to, actually, he's going to have a booth for the first time at the show. Last kind of bucktail. Listen, bucktails in Wisconsin kind of go hand in hand together. A lot of people have asked about dozer baits from Canada. Evidently, there's a growing amount of people. This is like a best kept secret, but this is a dozer spinnerbait. More and more people are fishing with spinnerbaits here in Wisconsin, and this is a bait that they're coming from Canada to here to Wisconsin.
That's cool. That's awesome.
You know, they do a great job of building these baits. The camera is not going to do justice for this, but you know, the owner, you know, will be there set up with a booth, and that's, you know, dozer spinnerbaits.
Yeah, check them out. That looks nice looking bait.
It is. Speaking of Canada, another guy that's coming from Canada and is Adam Muller. And there's going to be a lot of you. I mean, some of you are going to look at these baits and go, "What's that?" You know. But the guys that are, you know, pretty sick about, you know, musky baits, they're in tune to this. A lot of people are aware of the dipstick. This is made in Canada. He's bringing the mini and regular dipsticks to the Wisconsin Musky Expo, but the big, you know, the bait that everybody's getting excited about is his Nomad shads. He's got them in solid and jointed, and he'll have there as well. But so as well as other baits that he makes, so he'll be coming to the show. While we're, you know, talking about some dive and rise, I'm going to kind of, you know, bring this one up. This is the new edition that Conklin's going to put out. This is the pacifier. Many people watch the video, the dive and rise video with Smith's Fishing Outdoors. A lot of people are asking, you know, how to get these. Again, he hand makes these things, and you know, he's going to have a very limited amount of these, but this is the pacifier. Incidentally, another thing while I'm thinking of it, you know, we had shown your pedigrees. Mm-hmm. Not all gliders are made to work fast. I know this younger generation is working these baits so fast. I'm telling you something, fast isn't always better, okay? Sometimes medium to slow is going to catch the fish. So that's something that I think if you take some time, talk with these vendors and realize that, you know, that not all baits are made to work fast. And you find that out by watching videos like this and or talking with the people that make the baits.
Right.
Another bait that's coming to the show is this young man. He's been making these for quite some time, but I got a chance to really play with this bait, and this is called the Hammer. And it's made by Nick Ambrose, and this bait is awesome. You know, it does a great job on this. It's got a beautiful up and down and side to side action to it, but the baits are absolutely beautiful. He's got a lot of time in this, and it's definitely a booth you want to check out. There are a lot of people that have a hard time with, I was talking about diving rise, so we might as well go ahead. Some people have been, this is an old favorite, this is a Naven. They're going to have a glitter series of the Naven out, so they'll be able to, you definitely want to stop by Chaos.
Right.
A lot of people look at Chaos going, yeah, they're known for their rods and their Medusas, but actually they got two baits, the Naven being one of them, and the blunt nose glider, awesome bait.
Right. And
they're going to be there in the glitter finishes. And I think we'd also would kind of be remiss if we didn't mention Suic.
You gotta.
Suic is a tradition here in Wisconsin.
Yep.
This particular Suic is a adjustable weight, like a lot of these companies are coming out with, and that's good because guys can adjust their baits.
Versatile.
So, yeah, very versatile. But Suics, of any dive and rise, I've caught more fish on a Suic than of any dive and rise, and it should be in everybody's tackle box.
That's why, I mean, that's why we were excited to get custom colors from them, for our website and for our booth, just because we love them. I mean, they work so well and great. You can't. I mean, the action is. I mean, it's very simple, but it produces fish. I mean, it's just that, and it's.
They've got the action.
Yep.
When I'm talking about some dive and rise, I'm going to talk about, Tom Harrison. Tom's 71 years old. I think going to be 72 coming up if he's not 72. At this age, we don't talk about age, okay? But he's got a Gen 2 manatee that's coming out. Anybody that has a hard time working a glider, this bait will make you a glider fisherman. Sure. Anybody can work a manatee. Same thing, very limited. He's only going to have about 40 or 50 of these. I know he's been working on another bait, and he sent me pictures of it, and I'm hoping he's going to have a few of those.
Awesome.
But it's another glider coming out. But Tom will be there this year with his Tom's Custom Musky Baits. So that kind of covers that. Some people have been asking about Swimbaits. I think Swimbaits are coming into their own. You can't mention Swimbaits without mentioning the Swimming Dog, from Musky Innovations. What amazes me, the colors that he comes out with.
Oh, yeah.
This is his perfect perch. That he's got a new walleye pattern. There's got so many, but stop by the booth and you'll see all the new custom colors at his booth.
Yeah, I think it's always fun to see what the companies are coming out with every year, just as far as something new with the colors.
Right. Another bait that's going to be new. Many of you remember Bam Bam lures with the bow fin. He's got a new pattern called Wisconsin Gold, but this is his new swim fin. He's been playing with for over a year, and so the guys like Nate Osfar, I think, have found that the thing has got a nice drop. They crank and drop, and that it's been doing very well here in Wisconsin. But he's going to have that there as well.
Yeah.
Something out of the ordinary that's been on Facebook, on social media. Rusty's Custom Lures will have the 6 suckers there at the show, and that's what Rusty's become to be known for. But this is one of his new baits called the Crackhead. And this bait here is a hard, it's a hard swim bait. It's got that beautiful belly roll back and forth because of the hard plastic tail. And this is the rock bass that he made for me. So in some of the waters I fish, rock bass are plentiful, and they'll eat those. Yes. Let's see. Another highlight is Trevor Allen. Trevor Allen is basically kind of like the manager at Chaos Tackle. He's I'll tell you what, don't let his age fool you. He's a bright young man, very intelligent, but he also now is making, he owns Trophy Time Tackle. Everybody knows that company is for making his leaders, the leaders, but he also makes some crankbaits. And I'm telling you, these are very nice crankbaits. He makes them, I think, in 4 and 5 inches, and so he will have a booth there as well. Another crankbait that I'm going to bring up is Big Guy Baits. I'm a fan of his 7-inch shallow. He acquired the bucktail business. He's doing a great job. He's probably building them better than I am. So I'm glad to see that, you know. But he's come out with a new 8-inch twitching minnow. This is one that he made for me special when I did Brian's video. That's going to be a 2-part video, by the way, just from all the baits we discussed. Sure. But Brian saw that perch video, and I looked and it was instantly gone, and Brian just kind of chuckled. Yep. Brian, you know, he liked the looks of it, but this is one that he made for me. But I think he's going to have these stashed. I don't know if he's putting them out, but he'll definitely have them under the counter. Sure. Another minnow bait I want to bring up that doesn't seem to, a lot of people are in the dark on, and that is the Ridgway Customs. Matt Ridgway and his brother Charlie, you know, both make baits. Charlie makes a glider, but Matt makes the minnow bait. This is a great trolling bait, but one of the things that it does, it's a great minnow bait that walks in its place. And you know as well as I do with some of the downwood and stuff on you know, in a fluid situation, you got to kind of keep it in their face, and the Ridgway Customs does that. Nice. So, I mean, probably the other bait I want to touch on, well, I'm going to touch on this one also. If you guys walk through the show and you hear this, oh yeah, you know what that sound is. Yep. Greg Nimmer makes Nimmer Swimmer. I'm bringing this up. This is not something new, but I'm going to tell you about this bait. You know, Greg is a folklore, you know, maker, but I'm going to tell you, this bait has become famous within itself. People don't realize how many muskies this bait catches. But it's not just a lot of muskies, but this bait has got a 56 and a 58 incher under its belt. Wow. Under his belt. That's impressive. One out of Minnesota, one out of Wisconsin. That's awesome. Legit fish. There's pictures of the fish, but I'm telling you, don't underestimate the Wally Pug. But he also has another bait coming out called the Nimrat or Nim Mouse. Okay. And it's a nice flap tail. I got to play with it this year. Very nice flap tail. Sure. So I wanted to mention Nimmer in there. Yeah. The last bait I kind of want to talk about, I used to make a bait called a Cyclone. Okay. And this, people have kind of forgotten globes.
Yeah, they're great though.
They catch, I mean, listen, they used to catch a lot of fish. They're a great cool water bait in Wisconsin. Guys in Minnesota are definitely ahead of their time. They caught on to this globe thing, and they've caught some big fish on it. But I used to make this. This was called a Cyclone. We made this back, oh man, you know, 16, 18 years ago. And then, long story short, the building burnt. The company went up in flames, which really was a bummer. Mm-hmm. And so Dick Manhart brought the bait company. We worked on it. We made some changes to the globe, and you know, it sounds awesome. We put a lot of work into this. Dick did. Dick's very meticulous. Everything's got to be just so with him, and which he's got that mind frame. So you know, these are going to be at the show in limited numbers. You know, Ross, I'm going to give you this one. All right. This for looks awesome. You know, okay, yeah. Great color. Well, it is, and I think, you know, but here's everybody's been making a big deal out of this orange, the orange crackle, and I get a feeling that he's going to sell through these real quick. Yeah. This bait, you know, for the younger people, don't underestimate this bait. For years, okay, this has caught a lot of muskies. It's caught big muskies. I think between the hog wobbler and the globe, those two baits have probably caught more big fish in the state of Wisconsin, topwater wise, than any other topwater in the market. My dad and grandpa's tackle box, that's what I used to see, is globes in there. I mean, he had numerous different, you know, over the years. It was just, that was, I mean, I grew up fishing some of them. When you hear this in the water, believe me, it's very dialed in. It's actually got, I would say, a better sound, and you can use it in where you got from flat calm to a small chop, whereas the original, you know, Cyclone, you know, you could use in calm glass like water. Mm-hmm. You can run this in a slight chop. It's amazing how many people remember these and have been, you know, I'm glad to hear clamoring wanting some back. Right. So the Cyclone is going to be at the Wisconsin Musky Expo, and I think the last thing I'll mention, only because people have asked, Finn's has come out with white braid. It's got white braid. They always had it. They just, they're a OEM manufacturer. They've got it. It's white. I'm a white braid kind of guy. Ryan Jenkerson. That's the other thing. Ryan Jenkerson, right, Lures? Ryan's going to have a booth at the show this year. So for you guys that have had a hard time getting Rye lures, Ryan will be there with the booth. So stop by and see him. There is so much. It's hard to tell you everybody and everything that's going to be there.
Right.
The best thing to do is just to basically show up. But with all these nice baits, make sure you put some brand new line on this year. But there's no way we could talk about everything that's going to be, and you've seen it.
Oh, yeah.
Rods, reels, baits galore.
Right.
There's going to be a lady there that does musky paintings. That went over big last year. She sold out by Saturday afternoon. The woman's very talented. So,
yeah, that's the thing. It's not just baits there. I mean, there's like you said, there's there's art, there's decor, there's apparel, there's baits, there's rods, reels, line. So it's all you need.
So,
yeah, I mean, we had a nice wide range of baits there as far as some of the different things that are going to be there. And
I didn't even mention Trucker. You know how many guys like Trucker lures? I mean, Trucker's back, and he's got a huge following in Wisconsin, and he's back in business. He's actually doing this full time now.
Oh, cool.
So for those of you looking for Trucker lures, Bob Kimball's going to be back and front and center, and so he's back. So okay,
the list just keeps going as far as
it goes on and on.
It's great to see the buzz.
Yeah, it is. So
yeah, so I would say, as far as that's concerned, swing by the expo if you haven't. If you have, we're looking forward to seeing you again, right? So
March 14th, 15th, and 16th.
Yeah, so obviously swing by our booth. We got, like Rich was talking about and I was talking about, we got our custom colors and some of our top baits and our apparel, and then we'd love to hear some of your musky stories from this past season and the fish you've caught. So
another thing, don't give Ross any crap about his trophy. He kept that one, so we want to keep that. I know everybody's in a catch and release, but this is the one trophy that he's got. He's going to keep, I think, for a long time.
Oh yeah, no, Jake and Alex and we've definitely been blessed by the Lord the last since we've been born, but this last year plus has been great blessings.
Yeah.
You can't beat it. So with that, I think we'll call it quits and hopefully see you guys at the expo. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode. It was good to get behind the camera again and get you guys some content. So with that, thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.